Now first, I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, although I know we are still more than a week away from the 31st of December, but you know, in case I forget to upload the video on time, which has been the case for the last week or so. I've been very late on my upload schedule, mostly because there is so much to do and my internet's not been the best lately, so the uploads are a bit slow, but I'll try to upload this on time. Now, today we'll be taking a look at the game in this year, and we'll be taking a look at what is up ahead in the next year. I have to say, 2023 has been probably the most content-packed year of EVE Echoes. I mean, we have received 2 new regions, we have received a lot of new ships, and we have received a lot of modules and a lot of, you know, other things, especially the new modules. I mean, the gates and stuff, new structures, and you know, the list goes on and on and on. The new graphics as well. The game has been visually improved as well. Now, the most important thing of this update, well, that's a good, the most important thing of this year definitely has to be the new regions, and I would say the new ships. When we are looking at the new ships, we have received, well, all possible ship classes basically. We have received, well, first I think the versatile solo ships have been introduced, the faction carriers, and you know, these ships overall have been buffed recently. They have received a new roll bonus, and that has kind of improved their price on the markets. These ships are a bit more expensive now because they can open Sino and they can drop super capitals, all the dreadnoughts at your doorstep basically. And also, I almost forgot, we also received Black Ops ships. A lot of ships have been added in this year, that's just a fact. Now, when we're talking, since I'm already talking about the versatile assault ships, they have their place. They started, I would say, clumsy. I mean, they were ships that had the tank of a dreadnought but the DPS of a battleship. They haven't been that popular around the very start of their release, mostly because they haven't had that DPS that players wanted them to have, and they, you know, are still one of those most tankiest ships in the game, definitely the tankiest carriers that we have. And with the new skills, with the new modules, especially the general fire units that have been added, these ships are now very, very, very scary when it comes to how much DPS they can deliver. And you know, new skills have also improved the performance of the fighters, of the lightweight ships. And when you compare the lightweight ships from the very start, and when you compare them now, there is a huge difference when it comes to performance. Alright, there is just a massive difference in how good they perform. And honestly, maybe it was required, maybe not. I mean, we all know that the implants have changed the game quite a bit, and I'll come to the implant part a bit later. I mean, I also have to talk about the implants a lot. Well, I'll try to make the story short, because it would be a very long video and I don't want to be here 5 hours, but I can basically talk about the implants for a very long time, since most of the implants, you know, have been nerfed. Well, I say most, there are a couple of them that haven't been nerfed for unknown reasons, if you ask me. And I'm talking about the bombard tactic, which still remains the most broken implant in the game. Kind of disappointed that they haven't nerfed that. Maybe they will do it, I don't know. And it's not really, you know, as a disastrous approach as some would proclaim it to be. I mean, it is broken, of course. The implant is nasty, but when we look at the big picture, right, it doesn't really affect that much, because it's just one implant that in the end is not going to do much if you have an organized fleet, for example. So it is broken, but when I look at things now from this perspective after 2 years, it's not that bad, but it's still bad, and it needs to be fixed. And I think the developers know that. One thing that I'm fairly certain of is that they don't really know how to nerf that one, but you know, at the same time not completely making it useless. And we will see what they'll do. Now, as for the new skills, I already did touch on that topic. We have received basically new skills for all the weapon systems. Initially, I expected to only to have like certain skills added. Basically, the missiles haven't been, let's say, up to performance for a very long time, and all the players required and asked to get, you know, new skills to enhance the missiles. Well, the developers did add the new skills, and they did add new new skills for the missiles, and they added new skills for every single weapon system that there is. At first I was kind of questioning things. Well, why did you do this? Why did you do that? If they just buffed the missiles, for example, it would be fine. I think the turret performance as it was back then, I would say, was, you know, fairly decent. It wasn't that bad of a situation with missiles. I mean, with cannons, for example. But we have received a vast majority of new skills. Well, good thing, I guess. Improved the tracking, DPS, damage, everything, range. Oops, something fell. Who cares? Something fell. Who cares? Actually have to pick it up because yeah. Anyway, so that was about the new skills. Besides the new weapon skills, there have been new skills for tank. I find these skills to be, I would say, more interesting. I mean, I'm a pilot that is mostly, well, I think you guys know me for chonking my ships up. I have some of the most insane tanks the game has ever seen, and I made some very, very, very funny tanks, and I still do actually do that because I really like to build very, very tanky ships, and that's kind of, you know, a thing that I like to do. The tank rigs are definitely very nice. Some of them are specialized for certain ship classes. For example, we have received the new skills for versatile solid ships, for dreadnoughts, for super capitals, and they have vastly improved their tank, which was required because there's been a, I guess, time in the game where, let's say, the amount of DPS that we have right now wasn't enough for the tank, and I think it kind of still isn't, you know, in the balanced way. I guess there is still a lot of things that I would do, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I would definitely nerf all the DPS on all ships if it were up to me. Maybe the tank, if I nerf the DPS, maybe the tank of the ships can also be a little bit reduced, because the tank has been increased because of the extra added DPS. So overall, there definitely is a lot of things to consider and to think about. But overall, with the skill aspect, with the new skills, pretty good. Been mostly quite positive, I would say. No complaints from that aspect, because the new skills in some cases have been required and maybe have been overdone in some cases. But overall, definitely, I think most players appreciate to have new skills that they can level up. Now, the way to obtain the skills could be, not my favorite thing, because I know some of the skills are behind, like I think ISK, not a paywall exactly, although I'm fairly certain some of the skills that have been added have basically been only available via hour at one point. But I think that was changed, so didn't like that, for example. Didn't like that skills were behind hour or Plex. Should be on the market via ISK or other means to get the skill from. Now, one big part of, as mentioned, I think the most important part of the year for the game was the new ships. Players have been asking the developers for new ships for a very long time now, and I've been one of the players that was kind of not really demanding, you know, but I kind of wanted to fly a Rifter, right? And our current tier 2 Rifter is a piece of, you know what, it's not good, right? Well, there was I've heard rumors that they would add a usable Rifter, and I was very, very happy when the Navy frigates came around the corner, because the Navy frigates have the Rifter, right? And I was very happy, still I'm happy that there is a usable Rifter that players can actually fly now. Now, new ships, you know, fantastic new ships, new toys that we can play with, is always welcomed. However, there is a problem. Well, I call it a problem because technically it's not exactly a problem, but you know, the price, the IP cost of the new ships is through the roof. I mean, an Navy frigate costs 18 billion. That's one of the things that players don't really like about these ships. Now, at one point, you know, from a certain perspective, I can see why they did that. They want the market to be used a bit more. They want to, I guess, encourage. Well, not want to say force, but they want to, they want to make players use the market more to get new ships from. And well, I can kind of see them increasing the IP cost just so they can basically, you know, make players buy more stuff from the market. And you know, at one you know, from one perspective, okay, I mean, it makes sense, but at other point, the IP cost, not the way to go. If you ask me, the overall cost of these frigates and in general from all the special ships definitely needs to be, you know, toned down a little bit, right? So, and I think the developers have mentioned a couple times that they're looking into ways to also like reduce the cost, the IP cost of the ships. So maybe we will see a reduction in the total IP cost of the special ships. Doesn't mean that they're bad ships. I mean, I personally think they're fantastic ships. The only problem is the price, the IP cost. You're going to be giving fat, juicy QMLs to people. And I know from my perspective, from, you know, I don't want to be a QML. Definitely don't want to be a fat, juicy 50 billion kill frigate kill. That's for sure. No one wants that, right? No one wants to have such a QML in their log. So these ships are not really bad when it comes to performance, but price is not that great. And it's a very easy problem to solve. So I'm expecting them to approach that from, you know, from a different angle. So we can I think we can expect the IP cost for the special ships to basically go down. And you know, from all these new ships, I forgot to mention the CNC carrier. I mean, I probably will miss one or two ships, that's for sure. Maybe not, but the CNC carrier is definitely one ship that's going to be memorable for 2023, because that's the one and only capital, well, not the only capital, because freighters can go into high sec, right? But the only combat capital that can go into high sec. So that is one memorable thing of this year. And I made a joke a million times, I know, but if there is a sea and ocean, I'm gonna fly one. Okay, I'm gonna fly one. That's just gonna happen. I'm not saying they'll make a sea and ocean, that's probably not happening, but it would be funny if there is a super carrier that can enter high sec. That's gonna be absolutely hilarious if that ever happens. But that is the next ship that I wanted to look at, because the CN carrier is definitely a very well, unique ship to... Was that an earthquake, actually? Never mind. I think the CNC carrier is definitely a very, well, unique ship for what it is, I guess. Only combat capital that can enter high sec, basically. And you know that ship is also one of the most popular ships in the game. Probably the one ship that has dethroned the Apocalypse from the king of PvE status, although that is something that we can discuss. I know, maybe the Apocalypse is still the king of PvE. In some cases it actually is. but the CNC carrier might perform better in some other situations. Then we have the special edition cruisers, my favorite actually. I'm a cruiser pilot myself. I like cruisers over anything else in the game. I would take a cruiser over a capital any day. Maybe if it were a super capital, I mean, I'll take a super capital, but I'm taking a cruiser over any other ship, basically any other ship class in the game. I just like them. I just like cruisers. I've been always a cruiser pilot since the start of the game, and when the game eventually ends in the future, I'll end it as a cruiser pilot. So that's one of the things that definitely I'm happy about. They have buffed the special cruisers. They have given them a much better shield recharge. Passive tanking has also been a very big thing that happened in the game in this year. Up until recently, passive tanking wasn't even proper passive tanking wasn't even considered. Now you have ships that can pull it off. Still not really there where it should be. I would say we still need new modules and rigs in order to accompany passive shield recharge to make it you know, a valid choice for some ships. If you like passive tanking, it should definitely be available to pilots to, you know, passive tank the ship if they want to do that. It should be a valid thing, and there's been a push towards passive tanking, which I'm very grateful for, and I'm very happy that that's actually the case, since I like to fly my ships, some ships with a passive tank. It's honestly very fun. And also they have been buffs to the DPS on the special cruisers. The Celos remains my favorite one. I did try all of them, and right now the Celos is, I think, the best with quotation marks, because there isn't really the best or worst ships. It really depends on the player, right? I can't run around and say, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and this is good. That's just, you know, would be from my personal experience. So I'm good with some ships, bad with other ships. That's fine. We're all, after all, different players. We play different ships in the end, so it's fine if you're good with some ships and if you're bad with other ships. Now, when it comes to the what was the name of the thing again? Fiend. It's a good ship. I haven't been using it often. I still have my original Fiend, but I don't really fly it. I mostly fly the Celos. But you know, it's a pretty good ship. I like it. And overall, all of the special edition ships are pretty interesting. They're special ships, right? They have their unique thing, and they did a pretty good job on these ships. Now we also have the special edition battleships, and this year we have received 8 of them. Navies, which I like to call Marauders because they have insane tank. I mean, these things, I think you guys have seen my Tempest fleet or Megatron Navy that I actually use. Very, very tanky, and I love the tank aspect of these ships. They're just insane. They are very, very close to actual Marauders when it comes to performance in tank. In 2024, I believe that they will be buffed, and maybe even, just maybe, they might get the best Bastion module, and maybe the siege mode on these ships will be changed. Or maybe we will get actual Marauders, and they'll be taking the role of navies in the tank aspect. So definitely, you know, a lot of interesting things can happen with battleships. And recently, Black Ops ships have arrived. They're very good ships. Not perfect though. Not perfect ships. They need to be buffed. Their speed while being cloaked needs to be buffed. They can get their role well, right? But I personally don't like that they're a bit slower than actual Black Ops ships. So that's one aspect of the Black Ops ships that has to be changed. I think most players would agree with me on that. They really need to be faster in order to fulfill the role better. Not saying that they can do the role. I have one. I have a Panther. I fly it, but I don't really fly it often. Not because I don't like the ship, but I just use the Macariel for most of the targets. When I'm doing some special stuff, I'm definitely taking the Panther out, but they need to be faster while cloaked. That's, I think, the only and most important thing that I have to complain about. Well, not complain like we have heard other players complain, but from from my perspective, they definitely need to be faster in order to do their role a little bit better. I mean, I don't really mind a slow ship, but would be much more fun to fly if they were faster while cloaked. Sneaky big ship. I like that. And now we covered the versatile starships, frigates, battleships, and now let's talk about super carriers. Oh boy, the salty topic. Oh boy, I've heard a lot of. Let me tell you, I've heard so much stupid around super capitals. Well, I say stupid, not exactly stupid, but players who don't really understand how these things should be used or work. And I'm not talking about players who fly them. Players who fly them know to fly them, right? You are definitely not going to find a player who doesn't know how to use a super capital. After all, these things cost 10,000 USD. They're expensive. But the players who have a problem with these ships, who can't kill them because no tactic leads to no kill. They simply still. I mean, I've not want to say that I've argued with some, but I try not to argue because it's just not my thing. I don't like to argue. I don't like to. I don't like to be loud. I don't like to yell. I try to share my knowledge in a, I hope normal way that's not aggressive or annoying in any way, shape or form. But unfortunately, some players just don't want to listen. And when you're faced with that situation, nothing much you can do. You just have to pray. You just have to pray and hope that they eventually learn with their own mistakes. Maybe it will happen, maybe not. But super capitals are, I would say, not the most important addition, but they definitely changed the game a lot. I mean, I used to fly the Dreadnought, I used to fly the Revelation, not anymore, obviously not anymore. But super capitals have changed the dynamic a lot, and they're not immortal in any way, shape or form. They're definitely strong ships, right? But they aren't some godlike entity that is impossible to kill. They die. And they even die to sub-capitals. So they're definitely not gods. They can be difficult to kill, right? But it's not impossible. And I really hope the players that think that they're immortal really learn, because they're not immortal ships. You can kill them. They die on a regular basis, basically. Everything that you have to have basically is a tactic. You have to develop a tactic to kill them. So that's all there is to it. We thought Titans would be out. They have been delayed. Titans have been delayed, and we can expect Titans in the next year for sure. Not really sure when exactly, but yeah, they're coming next year. Well, not sure when exactly, but they're coming next year. That's I think that's a fact now, and that leads us to this little second part, basically. The future of the game. What's going to happen in 2024 when it comes to Eve Echoes? I look like a vampire when I do that. Holy shit! The light here is just. Anyway, 2024. Well, no exact roadmap is out, but I've been keeping a close track of everything that's been happening around, right? And we'll see what will happen. I mean, in January we might see some interesting things. Again, I'll pay a close look at it. One thing that I believe many players are right now worried about is the new law that has been changed, where they are trying to, well, when I say they, a new law in China basically that is going to completely change the scene when it comes to gaming monetizations from companies coming from China. So that does kind of affect this game as well in a way. It does affect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 other games that I play. That it affects other games for sure. But Eve Echoes is primarily a subscription-based game with other elements that you can have within the game. In some cases, it does have loot boxes. I'm not a fan of them. Let me be honest with you. I don't like loot boxes. I actually hate loot boxes. And the new law basically will make those not exactly banned, but it's going to probably force a lot of companies to remove them. And I don't know what's going to happen with this game exactly. A lot of things can happen, to be honest, but I'm not really sure in what way will it affect Eve Echoes. I like to joke around and say that we have like two options, right? Maybe a start of the golden age where no more RNG bull, you know what? No more gacha stuff. If that's the case, hey, I'm happy with that, right? Because I believe a lot of players are kind of very much sick and tired of all the gacha stuff, right? I'm personally kind of fed up with that. I think a lot of you guys are also fed up with that as well. Not just in this game, but in a lot of other games. It's been a very common thing for the last couple of years, right? And maybe this change will actually make games good again. I mean, if it really passes the way it is going to pass, I believe it's going to pass, then no more loot boxes, no more gacha. Then if it's single purchase, I'm all fine with that. And it would maybe pull back the gaming scene to the good old days in 2016 or 14, 15. I remember 2016 as the golden age of gaming, right? I love that year when it comes to games. And maybe it's the start of something good. Maybe all the games, including Eve Echoes, will start becoming better now. And then there is the other aspects that kind of probable to happen, but it might kill a lot of games. The games who don't adapt are gonna be dead. That's where it goes. Games who don't adapt are dead. So maybe it brings this game down. I'm not saying it will, but when I usually have an open mind, right? I don't present just what I think or what I just want. I present everything. And that includes the possibility that, the game might be because of the change. Can happen. I don't personally think it will happen, but it can happen. I don't say it will happen, but the possibility is there. Not just for Echoes, but for other games. So I'm quite positive that everything will be fine, because again, Echoes is a subscription-based game, and when you look at the loot box stuff, it's just a small part of it that isn't that eye-poking. That's it's not really that apparent that it's there. It might change the price of flex or hour. They might increase the price to compensate for the change, for removal of the gacha stuff, right? But if the loot boxes are completely gone, I mean, who will complain that loot boxes are gone? The loot boxes are gone. I think many players will be happy if there is no more gacha stuff. I think that's just what a lot of players want, and that would definitely be maybe golden age. I like to call it golden age, more of in a more of a joking way, not really entirely like that serious. Oh, golden age, no, just trying to make it sound a bit more funny or fun, but yeah, it's been my honor to be able to play the game with you guys. It's been my honor to record, and been my honor to be part of this awesome community. looking forward to continue playing the game, obviously, in 2024. It's been so much fun. Cannot wait to actually compile that huge video where I wanted to basically present the best battles of the year. I'm waiting for my internet. See this little I think just this little router here. This piece of crap doesn't work in most cases for whatever reason. Maybe I need a new one. I mean, it's right on top of my PC over here, which is a nuclear reactor when it comes to heat. But yeah, my internet obviously not best. That's what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, that was the recap of the year of Eve Echoes in 2023. Again, thank you so much for being part of this awesome journey. You guys just make the game a lot more fun, I guess. Well, I say I guess, it's a fact. You guys made the game a lot more fun, and I'm honored and I'm very, very happy that I was able to be part of this awesome game and awesome community. Big thanks to all of my previous corporations, alliances, and everyone that I've been playing with. Awesome guys, every single one of them.
Autopilot engaged.
And definitely looking forward for to play more in 2024. So that will be it for today. Might be a longer video, but yeah, I just thought about talking about stuff. Figured why not? There's just a lot of interesting things that have been happening on. So with that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed this rather different, maybe odd video, but I just have fun making videos nowadays, and I just love to play the game as well. And I also love to share the fun with you guys, because I think that's the main thing that a content creator should do. They should share the fun with other players. So, you know, positivity and happiness is what I want to share with everyone that I know. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you in the next one.